Our journey of spiritual growth is, a beautiful and unfolding path. It's not a race to a finish line, but really a continuous process of becoming more of who we truly are. In the Oversoul development system, we move through different stages of awareness and expansion. The first two phases often involve understanding our patterns and learning the lessons life presents to us. They're about gathering experiences and seeing ourselves more clearly. Phase 3, however, represents a profound and, honestly, an elegant shift in our development. It's a time when we move beyond simple learning and into a state of deep, resonant tuning. This phase is not about adding more knowledge, but about refining the very essence of our being. Imagine your soul as a beautiful musical instrument. In the earlier phases, you learned how to hold the instrument and discovered the notes it could play. You learned which actions created harsh sounds and which created pleasant ones. But phase 3 is where you begin to master the art of music itself. It's no longer about just avoiding wrong notes. It's about creating a pure, clear, and unwavering tone. This is the essence of the Tone Refinement Fields. These are not places of trial or judgment. They are sacred spaces designed for one purpose: to help your soul find its most authentic and harmonious frequency. Here, your energy is not corrected. It is calibrated. The journey into this phase marks a departure from the struggles of cause and effect that define our earlier growth. Before, we might have focused on fixing what we perceived as broken within us, or healing past wounds through direct effort. Phase 3 invites a gentler, more profound approach. It asks us to stop fighting our own nature and instead listen to its subtle music. It's a transition from effort to elegance, from reacting to resonating. The soul learns that its greatest power does not come from changing its circumstances, but from changing its own energetic signature. This is a time of incredible grace, where growth happens not through force, but through flow. This new chapter is one of hope and empowerment. It teaches us that every part of our experience, even the parts that once caused us pain, can contribute to the richness of our soul's song. Nothing is wasted. Every memory, every challenge, and every joy becomes part of the symphony we are learning to conduct. The goal is no longer to silence the discordant notes, but to understand how they can be integrated into a larger, more complex harmony. Phase 3 is where we learn to transform noise into music. And in doing so, we unlock a deeper, more stable sense of self that radiates peace and clarity into the world. The transition into Phase 3 is not triggered by an external event or a reward for good behavior. It's actually a deeply personal and internal awakening. It happens in a moment of profound clarity, a quiet instant when the soul decides it is tired of the endless cycle of action and reaction. This is the moment you realize that fighting against your perceived flaws is a battle you can never truly win. Instead, a new desire emerges, the desire for coherence. You no longer wish to erase your past or your pain, but to integrate it. You seek to find a steady, peaceful resonance within yourself, a state where your inner world is no longer at war. This inner choice is the key that unlocks the door to the Tone Refinement Fields. This internal shift is a subtle but powerful change in perspective. It's the difference between trying to mend a broken vase and realizing that the cracks themselves can be filled with gold to create something even more beautiful. When this understanding dawns, your energetic signature changes. Your soul begins to emit a new frequency, a call for harmony rather than a cry for help. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, responds to this call. It is this new vibration that attunes you to the Tone Refinement Fields, allowing you to perceive and enter them. You do not find these fields. You become resonant with them, and they naturally appear in your awareness as the next step on your path. Once this shift occurs, the world may look the same, but your way of being in it is forever altered. You stop seeing challenges as punishments or obstacles to be overcome. Instead, you begin to see them as opportunities for tuning. A difficult emotion is no longer something to be suppressed, but a note that needs to be brought into harmony with the rest of your being. This inner transformation is the true rite of passage into Phase 3. It's a quiet graduation from the school of fixing and into the conservatory of fine-tuning. Your soul is now ready to work with energy at its most fundamental level. This moment of clarity is available to everyone. It's not reserved for a select few. It comes when we are ready to lay down our arms and embrace a gentler way of being. It is a declaration that we are ready to become the conductor of our own energy, rather than a victim of its chaotic whims. When you make this conscious choice for inner peace and coherence, you are signaling your readiness for a more advanced and graceful form of spiritual evolution. The Tone Refinement Fields are the universe's loving response to that signal, providing the perfect environment to practice this new way of being. A tone refinement field is not a physical place, but a sophisticated energetic environment designed for spiritual calibration. Imagine, for a moment, stepping into a space filled with living light and gentle sound, where every element is designed to help you hear your own soul more clearly. The field is composed of several key structures, each with a unique purpose. The first things you might notice are the mirrors of resonance. These are not visual mirrors that show your reflection. Instead, they reflect your energetic state back to you without any judgment. If you're holding on to anger, the mirror will reflect that energetic frequency back, allowing you to observe it as a pure vibration, separate from the story you have attached to it. Flowing throughout the field are the currents of possibility. These are gentle streams of energy that carry the frequencies of different states of being, such as peace, compassion, courage, and joy. These currents do not force themselves upon you. Instead, they flow around you, offering you the chance to attune yourself to them. If your energy is vibrating with anxiety, you can gently immerse yourself in a current of peace. The goal is not to be swept away by the current, but to learn how to match its frequency, much like tuning a guitar string to a tuning fork. This process teaches the soul how to consciously choose its own emotional and energetic state. Woven into the fabric of the field are the tensions of integration. These are not sources of stress, but are more like the strings on a violin. They are lines of energetic tension that represent the core dualities we experience: fear and courage, sadness and joy, confusion and clarity. By interacting with these tensions, the soul learns how to hold opposing forces in a state of balance. It discovers that courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to hold the energy of fear in a harmonious relationship with a higher purpose. These tensions provide the framework upon which the soul can build greater strength and resilience. Finally, running through the entire field are the veins of crystallization. These are luminous pathways that carry the pure, refined energy created during the tuning process. As your soul successfully harmonizes a part of its energy, that refined vibration is drawn into these veins. This is where the new, stable frequencies are stored and integrated into your core being. The veins act as a blueprint for your evolving soul, preserving the harmonies you have mastered and building a foundation for even deeper levels of refinement. Together, these elements create a perfect gymnasium for the soul, a place to practice the art of conscious, harmonious living. The core purpose of a tone refinement field is to shift your entire way of being from reaction to resonance. In our daily lives, we often react automatically to situations. Someone says something hurtful, and we immediately feel the sting of anger or sadness. This is a reactive state. Within the field, we learn a different way. The mirrors of resonance show us our anger not as a justified response, but as a raw vibration. We are given the space to simply observe this energy without being consumed by it. This gentle observation is the first step in tuning. We are not trying to get rid of the anger. We are learning to relate to it as pure energy. Let's consider a clear example of this process. Imagine a soul carries a deep tone of unworthiness, created from years of feeling overlooked or criticized. In the outside world, this tone might cause the person to constantly seek approval or shy away from opportunities. Inside the tone refinement field, this feeling of unworthiness is simply reflected back as a low, heavy vibration. The soul can then approach a current of possibility that carries the frequency of self-acceptance. It doesn't have to fight the feeling of unworthiness. Instead, it practices attuning to the gentle, stable frequency of acceptance, allowing the two tones to coexist, until the soul learns how to raise the vibration of unworthiness into a more balanced state. This process transforms our relationship with pain. The field does not teach us to erase painful memories or pretend they did not happen. Instead, it teaches us how to refine the energetic charge associated with them. A memory of betrayal, for instance, might hold a sharp, jarring tone of bitterness. Through refinement, that sharp tone can be softened and transformed. It might become a tone of wisdom about boundaries, or a tone of compassion for both oneself and the other person. The event itself does not change, but its energetic echo within the soul is retuned, freeing you from its painful grip and turning it into a source of strength. This is a journey of empowerment. The soul learns that it is not a victim of its own emotions or history. It discovers that it has the innate ability to modulate its own energy. Another example is the refinement of fear. A soul might carry a constant low hum of anxiety. Within the field, this hum is isolated and observed. The soul can then interact with the tensions of integration, learning to hold that fear in balance with the energy of trust. Over time, the anxiety is not eliminated, but transformed. It might become a refined tone of heightened awareness or careful preparedness, a useful tool rather than a debilitating state. The soul becomes a master of its own inner orchestra. The process of tone refinement is not endless. It moves toward a beautiful and significant culmination. As the soul continues to tune its various energies, transforming fear into awareness, sadness into compassion, and confusion into clarity, something remarkable begins to happen. The veins of crystallization, which have been collecting all these newly harmonized frequencies, start to resonate together. The individual notes of peace, courage, and wisdom no longer sound separate. They begin to merge and amplify one another, weaving together into a single complex chord that is completely unique to that soul. This chord is the authentic sound of your true self. This grand chord continues to refine itself until it reaches a state of perfect, unshakable stability. At the peak of Phase 3, this chord solidifies into what is known as a crystallized note. This is not a physical object, but an energetic structure of immense purity and strength. It is the soul's fundamental frequency, its unique song, now perfected and made permanent. This crystallized note becomes the new core of your being. It is a constant, unwavering source of your own authentic energy, radiating out from you at all times. It is the sound of your soul, finally singing its true name without distortion or hesitation. Having a crystallized note changes everything. Your inner state is no longer easily swayed by external circumstances. While you can still feel a full range of emotions, your core resonance remains steady and clear, like a deep, resonant bell that continues to hum long after it has been struck. This foundational note acts as an anchor, keeping you centered in your own truth. When faced with chaos or negativity, you do not need to fight it. Your very presence, resonating with the clarity of your crystallized note, naturally brings harmony to the space around you. You become a walking, breathing source of peace and coherence. This achievement marks the successful completion of Phase 3. Your soul is no longer an instrument in need of tuning. It has become the music itself. This crystallized note is your unique gift to the universe. It is a frequency that only you can create and only you can offer. It is the ultimate expression of your journey, embodying all the lessons you have learned and all the harmony you have cultivated. This phase of growth is not about fixing a flaw, but about being heard. It is about discovering the magnificent song that has been inside you all along, and finally allowing it to ring out clear and true for all the world to hear.